Duffy joins us right now. He is the CME Group Executive Chairman. And Terry, I noticed your exchange did not waste too much time to say, hey, things are fine here. Activity is still going on.
Shouldn't they?
Is that still the case, Terry?
Yeah, everything's fine at the CME, Neil. And, what we have in place, we put a rule in place a little while back saying that if, in fact, this was to happen, we have a 5% up, 5% down. So we won't let our equity indexes trade past 5% up or down. They can only trade to that level until the markets come back up here in New York. So that's where we're at today with our, but as you know, we settle off of S&P 500 index, not to the underlying products.
Well, what did you make? Dick Grasso was here earlier, the former New York Stock Exchange chairman, who says that not your exchange, but the SEC should take control of this and not allow any of these other exchanges, yours included, to be trading here. It adds to the confusion. I think I'm cutting to the chase. That was about it. What do you think of that?
I'm not, Dick's a dear friend of mine, and I think the world of him. And
well, he doesn't think the world of you. I think what he's saying, I'm kidding, but I think what he's saying is that it sends mixed messages when one big old exchange is down and the others are taking advantage of it at the same time. What do you say?
Dick is absolutely correct. Unfortunately, back on 9/11, that's exactly what we did. But we live in a different world today. This is not a cyber issue.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Well, the New York Stock Exchange just tweeted it's not a cyber issue, is what they said. So that's what I just heard.
Well,
from
that would be like me saying I'm not overweight. I mean, why would you believe?
I hear you. Listen,
I'm just saying. I mean, why would you put your confidence in a statement like that might be proven wrong? And time and again, when the initial reaction to the flash crash, we don't believe there is anything unusual here. We're going to get to the bottom of it when we learned it was a very, very big deal.
Because I think what we have to do is, right now, it's a technical glitch. It happened before the market opening, as they said, and then the markets opened. So when you have companies like ours that trade the stock index futures, when we put the rules in place that we did, which I referenced a moment ago, Neil, which are critically important, which is the 5% up or down, that takes away from the flash crash scenarios or the markets going haywire that Dick is concerned about, that were tied to the New York Stock Exchange when we did not have.
Let me bring Charlie Gasparino in here.
Hey, Terry, Charlie Gasparino
here.
Charlie. And I agree with you that markets should be open and still trading. The reason why we're getting decent trading, it's still, I mean, listen, it's the world is going on with this little whatever it's going, with this glitch. But I want to ask you this, because Mayor Giuliani was talking about this before, and Neil was talking about it. The management of the New York Stock Exchange. You know Jeff Sprecher really well. He was a competitor of yours when he ran the Intercontinental Exchange, and still a competitor of yours to a certain extent. Do you think he's doing a good job here? Should he be out there doing what you're doing and doing what Rudy Giuliani said needs to be done? And that's like, be the public face and say, hey, here's what's going on. But, the New York Stock Exchange is up and running, essentially.
Yeah. Here's the problem, Charlie, and here's where I agree with you. The New York Stock Exchange trades roughly 20...
I do want, as you're talking, and I do want you to finish that, the WallStreetJournal.com site is back up and running. So one thing is back up and running. So now we just have the other exchange to worry about. But go ahead.
I was just going to say, when you're the New York Stock Exchange and you only trade 23 to 25% of your own listed companies, it's almost irrelevant because of your iconic brand that you have and the trust factor that Charlie referenced earlier and that the mayor referenced and others. I think that's really important because the average investor, the smaller investor, they don't know about the 70 different portals of liquidity that the hedge funds have access to right now. They just think that the world's coming to an end because New York Stock Exchange is down. So I think
Terry, when you say that 20% of trading in NY listed stocks occurs on the New York Stock Exchange, is that by the weight of the stock or just the number of stocks?
No,
because it could be very big names there that trading is going to be tougher in.
25%, Neil, of the listed stocks trade their volume on the NYSE. The rest of the listed stocks on NYSE trade off of that platform.
And let's break it down even further.